Hi, everybody. So I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about my demonstration teaching project. So this quarter, I've been working in a fifth grade classroom, and I haven't gotten a chance to teach this lesson plan yet, so it's just coming out of my imagination. But in reflecting on what I find most urgent to teach in schools is kids developing their leadership skills to go out into the world to be those wonderful democratic leaders that we've been talking about all quarter. So what makes a great leader? They're those students that are confident, they're respectful, they're active listeners, and they're critical thinkers. They ask those kinds of good questions. So connecting this back to the fifth grade social studies standards, one of them is that students will be able to create and use a chronological sequence of related events to compare developments that happened at the same time. So why not create a wonderful collective timeline of students' different events that are significant in their lives and kind of just pulling them all together to see how we all relate to each other. So the objective for this lesson is that students will be able to articulate different events in their lives occurring simultaneously. So it's pretty simple. It's 2 days, the first one beginning by explaining that history tends to be studied in a linear fashion, meaning like this event leads to this, which leads to this, which leads to that. But in reality, it's a lot of things happening at the same time. And what matters to us critical thinkers is the context in which things are happening. So context means we take that big step backwards. We're looking at everything in a big picture. And context tells us how and why things got to where we are. And that's why we study history. We want to understand where we come from, and we want to make good decisions about where we're going. So I tell them a little bit about my context, like where I'm from, why I moved to Chicago, and that my context makes me who I am, and their context makes them who they are. So we'll be passing out like sheets of white paper, have students using the art supplies at their tables to just kind of create their own personal timeline by reflecting on 5 significant events in their life. They can draw out the different scenes, they can just draw out a line with little descriptions. Whatever like level of artistic representation they're into, we're all about it. These events can occur before their student was even born, like their parents' anniversaries or significant deaths in their family. But it can also include birthdays and days that they might have moved into a new place. Anything that has really been significant in their formation to becoming the 10, 11-year-old that they are right now. Before we begin also and while they're working, we're encouraging creative discussion, meaning we're working together to boost those creative processes, but we're also referring back to our classroom rules, which have a lot to do with respect. So we're respecting ourselves by doing our best and our own work, and we're respecting others by not bothering other people when they're trying to do their work, and we're respecting the teacher, whoever's instructing for the day, that they've assigned this, and it's only respectful that we turn it in on time and complete. So students complete their timeline overnight. They bring it the next day when we reflect on talking about context, why it's important that we understand why and how something came to be, not just that it happened. Like for example, I tell them that I'm from Ohio, but neither of my parents are from there. So how the heck did that happen? The bigger picture is what really makes up my personal history. So then the actual activity for day 2 is that students are then invited to come up and share their personal history with the class. They're marking their events on the class timeline, which is a sheet from like a big roll of paper that is pre-constructed, and it has all the different months of the year and the years from about 1995 to 2018 all laid out for them. And students use different colors to just kind of depict the different events that they've depicted in their personal timeline, to create this big, beautiful, like rainbow collective timeline of all of our own personal histories. So we're reminding students again of the classroom rules that are relevant today, such as, again, listening, asking those important questions of our classmates, and speaking with confidence. So we're overall building our students to be wonderful leaders, both on their own, like when they're presenting, but also knowing that a good leader is also a good team member. So they're the people that are a part of the audience most of the time, and they're asking those essential questions. We're also going to be praising those students who are demonstrating these outstanding skills because they're respecting and supporting their peers. Then you can really easily conclude day 2 by noting with awe how amazing our histories look, thanking them for sharing and respecting each other, and reminding them that this is a great critical thinking skill, looking at the big picture like this. Their exit slip is then to ask their neighbor about a significant event in their life and write about it in their social studies notebook, comparing and contrasting their neighbor's event with something that was happening in their life at the same time. So it's pretty simple, easily done. I look forward to somehow enacting it in my future classroom. Thank you.